I always say that if there's a speck of dirt in a carburetor, it's equivalent to a piece of gravel in a kidney. So fuel is drawn in from the fuel tank into the main fuel inlet tube of the carburetor. The fuel is then taken in through the fuel vanes inside the block of the carburetor and up through this little hole there. And that hole there is the one underneath that valve flap. There. The fuel is then taken over into this hole, and that's this hole here. So it comes under the flap and into that hole. Then it's taken under a little vane there again, and then into this reservoir. And as you can see, I've just highlighted all of this in red to show that this area floods with fuel. But the path of the fuel basically comes out of this hole and in through that hole. Then it goes underneath and through another fuel vane and out through this hole. And that hole there is the one underneath this flap. There. And once it comes out of there, it's down in this hole. And that's that hole there. Then it goes through another little fuel vane channel and then spills out down into this hole, which takes it down to the bottom of the needle valve. So out there and down through the strainer filter to the bottom of the needle valve. So the fuel's gone down there, and that is here. So the fuel's now come up to the bottom of this metering needle, and you've got the metering lever here and the spring. This metering lever now can move up and down and allow so much of the fuel to come through whenever it needs to by this diaphragm, the metering diaphragm. This is the diaphragm here. And this is the part that touches the metering lever. Fuel comes up to the bottom of the needle valve, and when it gets there it can't go any further because the needle valve is fast on its seat, creating a seal. And the reason for that is because there's fuel already up here in between the carburetor body and the diaphragm. This being the metering lever pivoting there, it pivots like this, but because there's fuel here it keeps the diaphragm up. So that little spring there allows the back to stay up and allows the front to stay down because it's pivoting. That then pushes the needle valve onto its seat. And the reason there's lots of fuel up here is because the engine's either using very little or none at all. So it's all staying up here in this middle bit. Let's say we've opened up the throttle, we've pressed the throttle trigger and it's needing lots of fuel. So fuel's going in to the engine. Now what's happened here is fuel's left this area. And when it leaves this area to go down into the engine, it creates a vacuum and pulls this diaphragm downwards. When it pulls it downwards, as you can see, it pulls down the metering lever, pushes against that spring there, and that operates the lever that way because it's pivoting in the middle. It lifts the needle off the seat and allows fuel to flow in, back in again. Fuel has come up to the bottom of the needle valve, and when the needle valve is open, it comes out through this hole here. The needle valve's been removed in this image, but fuel comes out of here when it's open and floods this whole area. As you can see, I've put the stripes there to illustrate that the fuel floods this whole area. Fuel goes down that little hole, down that hole, and down that hole. So there we are. This is how the fuel flows through the metering area. Up to the bottom of the needle valve, floods this area. Fuel is taken through that little hole, and that little hole, and we can see the routes it takes out. Each route ultimately ends up inside the inlet of the carburetor and mixes with air. And that fuel-air mixture is then drawn into the engine to combust. So let's just recap the fuel flow and put it together now. So fuel comes in through the pipe, takes this journey here, and spills down to the metering needle and then into the metering system and out into the engine. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to contact me should you need any further advice. Thank you.